Well, here we are yet again, and right before the Christmas holiday. So hopefully you guys all have great plans with friends and family for this holiday season. If you guys recall, I think was it 16 or I think it was 2016, right before Christmas or right after Christmas maybe it was, we launched the headless standard trem system. And it went crazy, right? You guys went crazy for it. So, with keeping in tradition, here we are launching the multi-scale tremolo system. Pretty excited about it. As I told you guys for many, many years, I'm not going to do it just to sell it and make a buck, right? And that's what took so long, getting it right, getting it perfect, getting it to not only function properly, but to stay in tune, return back to pitch. And we're gonna have a video for you guys that we're gonna play during this live, so you guys can check it out and see how it functions. And the crazy thing about it, the standard Kiesel tremolo system works amazing. This actually works even better. I don't know the exact reason why. I think it has to do with the way there's a slight amount of leverage pulling towards the pointed pins on the Kiesel system that I think helps it return to pitch even better. And that was something we're very careful on, right? Because of course we could grab those sales, right away and say, hey, we want these sales, but that's not what it's about. It's about making sure when you guys work hard, make that money, and you go to spend it, that we believe in the product. And I'm so excited about this trem system. And it's available in 6, 7, and 8 string, headless only. So I'm going to get that one just right out of the way. This does not exist on a headstock model. And for those of you guys who might be like, oh, I'm out. Well, this is a 2-part announcement. So just sit tight. We're going to be here for a little bit. Also hold all your questions to the end. I'm not answering any questions for a while, because I want to talk about this and really give you guys a lot of information, educate you guys, do the second part announcement, and then I'm going to do questions. So we're going to be here for a little bit. And yes, you will be able to order these today. So I'll get that one also out of the way. It'll be live on the builder at 11 o'clock. So there's no point in going to the builder. You're not learning anything before this is over. So we tried several different versions of the multi-scale trem, and we tried fulcrum's level in front, and I've seen other manufacturers do that. The problem is when you go to pull back, it frets out. Your low strings end up touching the actual fretboard, so you have no pullback. There's quite a few systems on the market that operate like that, and they flat out don't work. They go forward, but no back, or very little back is what I should say. We tried splitting the difference and having it still parallel, but in the middle of the fan. And it worked pretty decent, but there were still issues with it. And then we tried the angle, and we tried several different angles. So this is, gosh, I don't know how many renditions this is. We finally nailed it though. And all the guys, we've ran it through the paces, and it functions amazing. So without further ado, here is our multi-scale tremolo system. You guys have seen the pictures. This is not the final version. I've made some aesthetic changes since then. As you guys know, when going into production with something, there's CAD files created, there's lots of money, lots of cost. It's all on me to come up with the funds for this, because this is our design. Hipshot's making it for us. And they've had some great suggestions and feedback. Josh has been amazing, so is Dave over there. We started working on drawings in January of 2019. I had done some drawings, did a little copyright on it, sent it over to them. Had some ideas that would work. One of them, was the angle. One of them was the split pivot system. And this one functions the best. And we even have, the production's going to be a little different. I took a little material out over here, so it's a little cleaner. We changed the front of the faceplate a little bit, so it's just a little cleaner looking. So this is not the final, but as far as functionality, it's the final. And again, as I've said, 6, 7, and 8 string, these are going to be right-handed only. So if you're left-handed, I'm sorry. My cost is double, and the sales just aren't there. And it's a matter of not just the cost, it's a matter of all my models. You take a look at all the models, and I have to double my programs to add this multi-scale tremolo for 3% of my sales. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't pencil out for me. So I can't keep doing these high cost things. If the hardware existed, I had no cost for tooling, then I could maybe do it on a couple of our most popular models, not all of them. So the models you're going to be able to order this today on going to be headless only. You have the Vader, Osiris, of course the Zeus, the HK, what else? Brandon, help me. Did I forget anything?
Type X.
The Type X, and the Lightspeed. You'll be able to get those on. We're not offering them on the Zeus Acoustic, not offering it on the Lee McKinney because we don't do that as a multi-scale, not offering it on the CL models, the Chris Letchford. But those are the models you'll be able to get this on, and you'll be able to order them. Now, as far as build times, we're going to quote around 20 weeks, say 24 at the most, because we don't have all the programs in. So what we're going to do is we're going to program them as they sell. And I know they're going to sell like crazy. I'm counting on you guys. This was a big investment for us, big tooling cost, a lot of my time, a lot of video calls with Hipshot, a lot of prototyping. But I told you guys from the very beginning, as soon as something exists that I believe in, I'm going to do it for you. And here it is. The reason why we're not doing and not working on a non-headless is because the way this system functions, you have to have the blocks straight across. With a traditional headstock instrument, you feed the strings in through the back. Well, you can't feed a multi-scale in straight, and I can't have an angled block. You can't have an angle here and an angle in the back. It doesn't work. We've tried it. So until we can come up with another way, and we're not working on it right now, I promise you we're not. We've done a lot on this. We got to see how this goes first for tooling and everything before we even look at a headstock version. So they're going to be headless only because the way the strings get pulled back, there's still a lot of downforce here, whereas a non-headless wouldn't have as much room, so it wouldn't have the downforce needed to top feed. So there's a reason why we're not doing a non-headless. So maybe this will convert some of you guys that have not tried a headless. You really want a multi-scale trim, this is your answer. And so again, if you have two posts that are straight, when you go down, your low strings unload really fast and it feels unnatural. And when you pull back, your low strings drop so much because this is dropping and the distance between your saddle and where the pivot is so great, it actually pulls the saddle down and your string touches the fretboard. So you don't have full range on that design. That was the first thing we noticed. We were like, oh shit, we can't do this. Why don't we do the video now so people can check that out and hear the video. If you're on Instagram, I'm sorry about that. We obviously can't queue up a video, but you should probably go over to Facebook or YouTube to check out a higher quality version of this live. It's not that you can't continue to watch. Of course you can continue to watch, but let's play the video. We're back on? Mm-hmm. So for pricing for these, because we had a lot of tooling costs, because it is our design, we own it, Right now, I'm going to do them for only the $100 Tremolo upgrade price. My dad wasn't too excited about that. You know, he mentioned to me yesterday, he's like, you better be getting a lot more for this. And I said, no, I'm only going to get $100 more. So, you know, for these first sales through the end of the year, the first sales, I'm going to do only 100 upcharge from the normal multi-scale. If they sell enough and we recoup enough of the sales, I'll keep them at 100, you know, even for next year. But if we don't, then I'm going to go up on price. I'll probably go to 200 more. So this is your opportunity to not only get one of the first ones, but, you know, get the better pricing, be part of, you know, helping us in the future. When you guys ask for something, you demand something, you know, you're motivating me by showing the results, right? You know, we get people all the time, you know, doing a lot of this, and then we put it out, and then they're not doing this, they're not throwing the money down. So throw the money down, support it. It'll, you know, push us in the future to really listen and do things, because this was a lot of work. There's a lot of work, late nights, weekends. You know, we've been here. A lot of us have put a lot of time and effort into this, and Hipshot especially too. I mean, I know those guys have done some late nights for us. I do get the final versions in the next day or two for both 6, 7, and 8. And if you guys are tuning in late, they are right-handed only. I'm sorry, lefties, but you're literally, I can't justify doubling my design costs and doubling all my models. You know, maybe something will change in the future, but right now for sure we're not, you know, we're definitely not doing that. So, and like I said, this is a 2-part announcement. So definitely excited to give you guys a multi-scale trim. Again, you'll be able to start ordering these on Vader, Zeus, Osiris, Type X, Lightspeed, and what did I miss? I missed something. I feel like I missed something. Headless models. You'll be able to order those at 11 o'clock. And why don't we get to the second part of our announcement today. And then afterwards, we're going to do a Q&A. So we're planning on being live for a little bit and getting as many questions answered for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and play the video again. If you've seen it already, I'm sorry, but we're going to play the video so we can do a little changeover here and do our second part of the announcement. So sit tight. So second part of the announcement, you guys probably saw the promo of the multi-scale headless behind me with an arm that looked like Darth Maul's. Well, that was my arm, and it was swirled, right? So I dipped my arm. I tried putting kind of like tape on my arm. We tried gloves. We tried all kinds of different stuff, and I couldn't get it to stick good, so I swirled my freaking arm for you guys. And it came off. I mean, I had a little bit of black still like on my shoulder area because I swirled it pretty deep. So we have swirls now, and a lot of time was put into this. That's why we haven't done some shop walks. We've been super busy with these, and this has been 2 years in the making, the swirl finishes. These are done in-house. I'm doing every single one of them. So all the examples you see behind me, I swirled every single one. This is a limited run. So it's not a guitar run, it's a limited option run. And these will be online and live at 11 o'clock as well. So the original idea was we're gonna launch the swirls, and then first of the year I was gonna launch the multi-scale trem. And then I said, you know what? I don't want anybody to order a limited swirl and not know about the multi-trem. And those of you guys might be going, well, shit, I didn't know. I placed an order yesterday for a regular multi-scale. you can't change your order. So don't call and don't ask. It's just not something we do. We don't do any order changes. Think of it like this. I'm launching the Trems earlier than I would have. I would have launched them middle of January. So I launched them early anyhow. And then giving you guys obviously the swirls. So with these swirls, you have 6 color choices. That's how it's going to work. You don't just get to say, hey, I want these colors, because there's an art and a science behind getting the colors to work. How you stack them, how you layer them, what you do to the paints to get them to look a certain way. There's a lot involved. I have swirled close to 100 guitars now. It's crazy, you know, to think that. The finishes are $600 for swirling. And then if you want a matching headstock, it's an additional $100. The process we do is very labor intensive. So number one, when you're dipping a guitar, a piece of wood, into a liquid that has a film of paint, that's how these work. There's a film of paint on the surface and you dip it into a liquid. I'm not going to divulge what the liquid is. There's a process to that, right? And you have to seal the guitar, 100% of it, so that you eliminate any water getting into the wood. And there's extra steps for us. You know, normally when we're painting a guitar, we're priming it. And if there's some areas like electronics cavity, this doesn't get fully primed, that's okay, it's no big deal. But when you're dunking it in water, we have extra steps to take precautions. And then there's extra steps for drying time. There's extra coats of clear to really seal everything and get it perfectly smooth. Now these swirls, as you can see behind me, they're all gonna vary. And that's what's really cool about them. They're a piece of art, they're unique. Obviously I'm doing all of them, so they're gonna have a similar pattern to them. But I just love the way they look. I love the gradients on there. Are we on the close-up camera, Brandon, or which camera? Okay, cool. I just love the way they're looking. And there's going to be imperfections in them. Keep in mind, we're dipping them in a liquid. So there could be some small runs, or could be some paint streams that get, you know, like some of the red can get on the black. There could be some little liquid rings on there. These are going to be small, minor things, but these are going to happen. And of course, each one's going to look different and unique. So you have to look at this from the standpoint of, do I want something that is a piece of art? And if that's what you want, then these are perfect for you. But if you're looking for 100% repeatability, perfect everywhere, this isn't the product for you. There are products out there that look more like they've been printed. I'm not a fan. I've experimented with lots of paints, and I don't like how those look. They look generic, they look cheap, they look like they should be sold at Walmart. I'm not a fan of that. This is what I like. And you know, hopefully you like it too. These finishes, there's a limited preset number, not per color, but total, that I'm going to do. Am I going to do them again? I don't know. Let's see how this goes. But I can tell you this, if I decide to do them again in the future, more than likely it won't be these colors. I'll have to come up with something new. So these will be limited, you know, and I'm not going to say never. If we redo them, we would never redo these same exact colors. I'm not going to say that, but if I ever did this in the future, it would have to be, for me, I'd want to come up with something different. So if you think these colors are cool, this could be your only chance to ever get one. $600 for the swirls. Now, can they see all of them behind me or just the one? Okay, well, why don't I ditch the chair and start showing off the other ones. All right, let's put this guy up here. We'll just go across the top here. You guys can they see the boards?
Yeah, they can see it.
So when you guys, at 11 o'clock, when you guys go online, you'll see these boards. Well, you won't see the board. I didn't bring a fucking template and I forgot. So basically how it's working is, hang this up. We have a cutout of each model, a shape. And so the builder's gonna generate the shape on top of that. That's a real piece of wood. That's something I really swirled here. So you're seeing something that you could get. It's not gonna look exactly the same, much like these two look different. You know, they look different. They have the same kind of pattern, but you can see they're different, each one. And part of what makes them different is each guitar has a different shape, a different bevel. They look totally different, you know, and that's what's really cool about them. I love that about them. I mean, even like up here in the horn area, you know, you can have different patterns happen. And so those are hot pink and black. Go back to the KRG one. So we have the red and black, KRG and black. Love the ring inlays with this. We got our blues and white. And this is something you'll actually be able to order online. I did the offset, or not offset, but the staggering of the inlays. So blue, white, blue, white, blue, white, blue, you know, so on. So you'll actually be able to order that with different inlay configuration. You don't have to get the crescent, but that'll be something you could get if you wanted to get this swirl, or even something that's not this. But this is the blue, baby blue and white. It's definitely a cool look. And I love looking in here. I don't know if you can zoom in good enough, Brandon, to see like inside the horn area. And these, again, everyone's going to be different. And that's what makes them so cool. I mean, you guys saw the red and black one. I'll just pull another red and black one down so you guys can see this. See what it looks like with a headstock too. And it's neat when you have bevels. I think the bevel adds like this whole nother flair to these. Not that you have to get a bevel model, you can get whatever you want. So you'll be able to get the model you want in the swirl. They have to be bolt-on. We're not doing neck throughs, and we're not doing set necks. And the reason for that is, obviously to dip this in, I got to get this thing below the liquid. I'm not trying to subject, you know, parts of the neck, fretboard, all that. It would be really hard to seal everything up enough, and I don't want to take the chance. It's one thing getting the headstock in, you know, you're barely getting it in. This is easy to seal, but this whole area is going to be really hard to seal. So I'm doing bolt-ons only. We have a lot of bolt-on models to choose from. This is my favorite right here. I absolutely love this. So obviously black, purple, and pink. The pink pickups. This is the hotness right there. So when someone asked me what my Christmas build would be, it would be this look, pink pickups, not a bass, probably a Zeus multi-scale, 6-string is probably what I would order for myself if I was putting a build in. I just think that's badass. I don't know what you guys think, but I have a feeling this is going to be our number one. And this one is harder to do. They're all $600. Doesn't matter which one, but they're all 600. And then of course, if you wanted a matching headstock, oh, I missed this one. This one's really cool. This has been a favorite at the shop here. This is our sky blue, purple, and silver. Let's see this guy. So again, at 11, you're going to be able to go on the builder for a limited time. Once they sell out, we're pulling them off the builder. You'll never be able to like create your swirled guitar. So even if you don't order one, you should probably screenshot it, build one, screenshot it so you have it, because once we sell out, we're pulling them off the builder. And there's not a lot of spots. So I have a feeling it's going to be really quick. And keep in mind, I am only one person, and I'm going to do them all myself. What do we got for time here? Okay, we've been a half hour of me blabbing. I've shown off everything we need to show off. Let me show off another blue one so you guys can kind of see, you know, when you have different shape models, some of it is just the shape. Gives you a little bit difference. I mean, look at the upper horn here, how swirled that is versus this upper horn. Some of that is, it's a single cut. It's got that bevel flowing, you know, right there. And you're gonna have two identical finishes, but they're not identical. And that's the whole point of a swirl. You're getting something unique to you. So pretty cool. Flipping the pattern here on these. But these are the colors that are available. So again, if you joined us late, are we going to do more of these? The answer is I don't know. I got to see how this goes. First of all, I mean, obviously the more successful it is going to push me to want to do it again. They're very time consuming. This was very time consuming learning this whole process, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I did actually get some help from Seth Metal, so I got to thank Seth. While Seth would not tell me a lot, he gave me little nuggets here and there, so it did help me. I even offered, I said, hey, can I hire you to come up here and give me a crash course in this, and he said, look, I've been doing this for over 20 years and I don't want to give it away. So look, I totally get it. I totally respect that. So he did give me a little bit of help here and there, and to thank him, I'm building him a guitar for his best friend, actually. So his best friend is a huge Andy James fan, so I said, well, why don't we build him an Andy James? So that's what we're doing. So I gotta give props out to Seth. Also, if you have a Kiesel or any model, you can hit up Seth, and he can swirl your guitar. I'm not doing refinishes, so you can't send it in to me to get one of our swirls on an existing model that you already have. Or if you have one in the works, you can't change it. But Seth would be happy to swirl a guitar for you. His finishes are not going to look like ours. We have a different process, and he doesn't want them to look like ours. He's got his own technique that looks amazing, and I spent a lot of time looking online, and I want ours to look different than everybody else's. And I had a lot of nights where I just couldn't sleep. I mean, there was a lot of times I'm here till 7:30 at night, pulling my hair out, getting pissed off. You make great progress, and then you have a couple steps backwards. And I learned a lot on this and put a lot of time in. Casey, our head painter, got us kind of kick-started on this too. He put some, good amount of time in as well. And then it's just his time is limited, because if he's putting all the time in, we're not spraying guitars. So I really had to kind of take over, because I can't have him missing production, and especially when we're trying to get caught up. So we're about 1,000 builds in the works right now. These swirls, we're going to quote 20-ish weeks on them. Could they be faster? Yes, they could, but I want to give myself enough time. I do have a procedure coming up. I have 3 torn meniscus in my left knee and 2 torn ligaments all in the same knee. And so I have some procedures coming up of some injections between prolotherapy and ACell treatment to try to rebuild the tissues, tendons, or ligaments, meniscus, and some of the muscle in there. So starting on January 9th, so I'm going to be down a little bit. I'm not supposed to put a lot of weight on it. So that's why I've been here, 6 days a week for a while, is I'm trying to get caught up, and I will be here all next week working on guitars. So all customer guitars I'm working on, I'll be by myself in the shop. It'll be just me. So I'm not taking a single day off for the holidays. Besides Saturday and Sunday, I'll be home, but I will be here all next week, getting caught up on my builds for you guys without any more interruptions. So what do you guys want to know? Let's try to keep it multi-scale trem, questions, and swirl finishes. Please, let's try to keep it to that.
What are the estimated build times for these?
About 20 weeks. It could be sooner, but again, I want to give myself that leeway. Of course, if you're getting a swirl on top of a multi-scale trim, we're going to stack that. So it could be longer.
Can you get it with a matching headstock?
Absolutely, just like those two over there.
Are these examples for sale?
They are not. And I don't know if I will sell them. I have some plans for some of them, but they might not be for sale.
That blue-white Osiris is sick. Do you have a white bridge as an option?
We do not offer white hardware, as it would get dirty really quick. So we're not offering that.
Do you guys ship to South Africa?
Absolutely. Yeah, we ship international. We ship actually a lot internationally. Also, I'll throw this out there. The swirls and the multi-scale trim both go live at 11 o'clock. You'll be able to start placing your orders. You don't have to place them online. You can call in starting at 11 to place an order for either of these.
Can we send our existing multi-scales in for a trem add?
No, we don't do any retrofitting at all. Yeah. And it actually wouldn't work anyway because of the routing. It wouldn't, it's not something you can retrofit. So you'd have to get a new guitar.
Can I just buy one off the wall?
No, you can't. It wouldn't be fair to everybody else. Having said that, I did swirl one of my very first guitar that I swirled. I did end up selling to John Gamrat, who has bought over 100 guitars from me. I shared the image with him, said, hey, this is my very first one. And he was like, I love it. I want to buy it. I said, okay. So he doesn't have it. It's still here. It's not one of these. It's a different color combination that I decided not to go with. I think it looks really cool, but it is one I decided not to offer.
Can you see the wood grain through the swirl?
You cannot.
Jeff said he dipped over 100 guitars in development. How many in stocks will there be?
So when I say I dipped over 100, or about 100, some of these guitars I had to dip 10, 15 times, some of these, because I'm trying to learn not only how to do it, what ratios to do everything. So there is one other guitar that I have. It's for a friend of mine that will be coming through. That is this finish right here, and it has pink and purple pickups. So it's a headless guitar, and it's got one coil pink, one coil purple. But that's the only other one that I have. The rest all finished up, and they're on display here.
Can the swirl have a matte or raw tone top coat?
Couldn't have a raw tone, but we can definitely do a satin if you want. It's not a problem.
Was the headless Delos part of the multi-scale trim?
It is not, because we don't offer that model as a multi-scale.
Are the color patterns flipped for lefties?
They would not be flipped. I would be dipping at the same, I guess, yes, technically they would be flipped, so it'd be a mirror image. No, it would be the same, because the way I'm going to hold it, a lot has to do with how you even hold the damn guitar. I mean, these finishes, if I would have known how complicated it was going to be and how much of my time it was actually going to take, I honestly wouldn't have done them. I mean, there were nights where I was just like totally defeated, and I'm a pretty upbeat, positive person, and I was like, what did I do? You know, and there was a lot of really high times too. You know, you're like so excited you'd figure something out, and it's very rewarding now to step back and look at this, but I can see why manufacturers don't offer this. This is not easy, guys, and they really shouldn't be $600. They should be more than that, but I'm trying to be reasonable with the pricing. If I was to price it and factor in all the time, I mean, even at $1,000 per guitar, it's just not worth it, the amount of time that I had to put into this. And I totally get it. That's why Seth didn't want to just, hey, here you go. He was like, look, you could offer me 10 grand and I wouldn't give you the info. And I totally understand now. But he did help me, there's no doubt.
Can you show the top right green? Is that the same finish as the other green one?
It is. It's an earlier version. So what you're going to be getting is going to be more closely to this and not really that. We just kind of wanted to show it. So you can see some variant, but that one is not going to be as close to what you would be getting. This is going to be a lot more like what you're going to get. And when you look at the builder, you're going to get something similar to what's on the builder. So when you go online, I definitely encourage you, before calling in, use the damn builder. You know, see what it looks like. Keep in mind too, you know, models that have a pick guard, you know, they're not going to look exactly the same because that surface isn't continuous. So you might have, you know, a line here, and then that big cavity goes in there, and you might have the line come out over there. They're going to look different. Actually, this is a good example of that right there. You know, it's going to look different having a pick guard versus no pick guard. You can see the back, how continuous that is.
I missed the beginning. Are both these options live on the builder?
They will be live at 11 o'clock. And the trim, we're only doing $100 extra over on top of a multi-scale for a limited time. If we do enough of them, I'll continue it only being 100. If we don't, then we're gonna raise the price to 200 extra. And then these swirls are $600. Matching headstock is 100. But yeah. What else do we got, gentlemen?
Sorry I'm late. Is the multi-scale trem headless only, and is it available on 8 strings?
It's 6, 7, and 8, headless only, right-handed only.
Does the multi-scale trem affect how low you can set the action?
No, it'd be similar to any tremolo. Yeah, it's going to be identical to any trem. So yes, I mean any trem. It's going to, you can't slam it right down on the fretboard because you could have some buzzing. So that's the same with any tremolo.
Are all the swirl options on the wall?
Those are all of them. There's 6 finished choices: red and black, Kiesel Racing green and black, blues and white, hot pink and black, hot pink, purple and black, which is my favorite, and then sky blue, purple and silver. And I tried different combos of different things, and I didn't care for them. They just didn't wow me. These ones wowed me. I thought they were great. I feel like I have them down really good. And having said that, there's going to be, what I love about our swirls is little like nuances, like the little bit of white that made it out there, and like how the lines they're not these sharp, tight, printed looking lines. I don't like that. That's what I haven't liked about swirls. I like how there's some chaos going on. I mean, you see this guitar on stage from a distance, that looks amazing. It's going to really, say, look at me. Where I feel like a lot of the other swirls, not knocking them, they're just not for me. I don't care for, I guess, the little too perfect. If I don't know. I think this is more art for me.
What is the finish called on that HD? What's the color combination?
The color combination is our sky blue, which is a new color for 2023, purple and silver. And so these colors all have a code of SD, so swirl dipped finish. These are not the same as hydro dipping. People will say hydro dipping, but these are swirl dipped. It's a totally different process. Hydro dipping is the process of floating a film, like a print, over a certain type of liquid, and then spraying some sort of an activator, and then dipping a product through that and having a pattern transfer on. That's not what this is. This is all, a specialty paint floating on the top surface of a liquid, and then swirling the guitar or bass through this paint film. Oh, am I out of the picture? Oh, sorry.
Is that sky blue a metallic flake?
The sky blue is not.
How long did it take to develop the multi-scale trem?
We've been in talks for a very long time. We wanted to offer it back in 2017. It just, nothing existed at the time. We started, design drawings and laying things out in January of 2019. I did some drawings with some copyright stuff on it, and with COVID and everybody getting really busy, and my time's getting pulled real thin, and Hip Shop was really busy, and so it just took longer than we wanted it to. And at some point I was almost ready to give it up. It just, I'm not willing to take your money unless I believe in something. And so I thought, there was a time period I thought, this is just not going to happen. But here it is, and it works amazing.
What body woods can you do the swirl finishes on?
It doesn't matter, whatever you guys want. We're sealing the wood anyway. Doesn't matter. Some of these are swamp ash, some of them are mahogany, some are alder. It makes no difference to us.
I missed the beginning. Is the multi-scale trem a permanent option?
Yes, it's a permanent option with a temporary price of only $100 upgrade on top of the multi-scale. Available on Vader, Osiris, Zeus, Type X, Lightspeed, not the Leia, not the HD. Am I missing anything, Brandon?
I think you got him. I think it's
Okay.
just those 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the Swirl available on any model?
Any bolt-on model. Yeah, bolt-on only. And you don't have to get a matching headstock. There actually is one more example of the blue. I just remembered that is on an Aries, and it's not done yet. It's in the process of the sealing process, the clear coating. And I have a roasted neck with a roasted headstock. It's not matching. It looks amazing. So it's going to look great even as a non-matching headstock. So the headstock to swirl it is an additional 100, and again, you don't have to get that. These are non-returnable finishes though, so the moment you order one, it's yours. You cannot return the guitar. There's no 10-day trial period on it.
Can you swirl an artist signature model?
We are not offering that right now, but if you called in, I'm sure we could. I don't think are we, Brandon?
We didn't put it on.
Yeah.
Can you combine, or can you do a swirl and a multi-scale trim?
Absolutely. That was the whole point of launching the multi-scale trim now, as opposed to around January 15th is when we were probably going to be in a more ready state for you guys. But I just thought, you know what, let's do both. I ended up dipping my arm. So the idea came to me when I was swirling. I had, wearing gloves, and I ended up going a little deep. The gloves go to about here, and I got, paint right in this area, and I was like, oh shit, that looks really cool. And then it clicked right then. I'm like, hey, to announce these, why don't I hold the new multi-scale headless trim and with a swirled arm? And the guys were like, oh, that's a cool idea. And so yesterday we were messing around with trying to get, the swirl paint to stick to like tape, latex, like anything it wouldn't. And so I'm like, fuck it. I just dip my arm in there, and so like fingernails and everything. So like my hand is still, I got a little bit of black still in like my cuticles and up on my upper arm area, but totally worth it.
Would you be able to swirl the pickups or pick up covers?
No, we're not going to be offering that, but you can get, of course, like the painted pickups. So I think that's a great option for you guys, alternative, I should say, for being able to swirl the pickups.
Since you have to seal the guitar before dipping, is the overall finish much thicker than others?
It's not any thicker. So the areas we're sealing are pickup cavities, the electronics cavity, all inside the trim. It's not any thicker as before we start swirling. Of course, as we swirl, it's going to be similar to like a splatter finish, a crackle finish, something like that as far as overall thickness.
Chris is wanting to know, can I drool on that bass?
What's that?
Chris Hong is wondering if he could drool on that bass.
Yeah, that thing did come out good. Yeah, that one is, that's my favorite. And this is what I love, is all that irregularity there. And you don't get that. I haven't seen that in other people's swirls. And that's my favorite, is that. I think they're very unique. I think they're very Kiesel-like. I'm proud of them. I'm really happy how they came out.
Sorry if I missed you answering this earlier. Are you offering this finish for lefties, and is the pattern flipped?
So yes, you can get it as left-handed. That's not a problem. And the pattern would be the same. It would not be flipped. So the model would be flipped, of course, but the pattern would be identical, or as close to identical as you can in a human element process,
Is it possible to mask off a part of the body to have the swirl localized?
No, I'm not offering that. I mean, anything's possible, but I'm not doing that.
Will you have any videos on the process?
Nope. I spent way too much time. I thought like, hey, this could be cool. I could even show people. I totally get why people don't show people. I spent a lot of time on this, so no, I won't be sharing the process. There's a lot that goes into this. It's not, you just drop paint and it's hard.
Can you swirl a K series?
I can. No, I can't. They're neck through. We're bolt on only. So no, can't. I think a Vanquish would be cool swirled. You know, guitar. I mean, obviously you have that bass, but I think a Vanquish guitar would be really cool.
Will you dip your whole body to be Darth Maul for Halloween 2023?
No, man. It was a lot of work to get all that paint off.
Are we able to get other swirl colors for an extra price and call-in option?
Absolutely not. Yeah, you don't have enough money to have me figure all that out. It's not like you just go, oh, I'm going to change the colors and it works. You literally don't have enough money for me to do that. It's a pain in the ass. I mean, I would say a custom color, it's going to start at 10 grand. I mean, Brandon, you know how much of a pain in the, I mean, I was getting pissed off at times. So, yeah, no.
I'm extremely late to the party. What have I missed?
Everything, but that's okay. You can rewatch the video when we end. Any like real questions besides like stuff like that? We got anybody want to know anything else? Because I'd like to sign off before 11. That way when it's 11 o'clock, you guys can mess around with the builder, get your orders in. So kind of recapping, multi-scale headless only, tremolo system, right-handed only, 6, 7, and 8 string with our same fan and angle that we already offer. And it's going to be for limited time only $100 extra on top of multi-scale. The swirl finishes $600 for the body, bolt-on only. Headstock is $100 additional. The swirls are limited. There's a set number I have in my head, and once we hit that, it's done. It's over. The option will be removed from the website. I don't know if we're going to do these again. I got them to the point where I'm so happy with them. I wanted to share them with you guys, but the process is so hard, and it's so hard to come up with new colors that I don't know if we'll do them again. If we do them again, I will be doing them. My time's limited. I got a knee surgery coming up, or knee procedures, not surgery. I have a busy racing schedule. I don't know if we'll do them. And if we did do them, I don't know that we would do these same colors again. So if you want a KRG and black swirl, this may be your only opportunity. I'm not going to say it will be 100%, but right now I got nothing set like, oh, I want to do this again. I just wanted it to kind of like, you know, get it out to you guys. And there was a point in time when I thought, fuck, I'm not going to do this. Like, Brandon, how frustrated was I some nights?
Pretty damn frustrated.
Like, why did I do this? Like, these aren't, it got to the point where it was like, I'm spending so much time on this and I'm starting to like add up my hours and my time. It's like, this is just not worth it, you know? But it is worth it. You know, when you step back and look, and I have them down. So I'm not having issues with these particular colors. I'm not having issues. Yeah, there's going to be little imperfections and stuff in them, but I'm not having issues where I would have to start over again, you know. And then we have the example boards that are swirled. So when you go online, you're going to see an actual real board that was swirled by me, and it's going to cut the shape of the guitar out over that, and so you're going to get to see an example of what it could look like, you know, something similar. Of course, it's not going to be identical, and if you want identical, don't buy one. They won't be identical. If you're concerned, have any doubts, don't buy one. I want you guys to understand that this is, you got to view this as a piece of art that each one is going to be different. So we got anything else, last minute questions? Well, on that note, you guys have 6 more minutes until they go live at 11, both the swirls and the multi-scale trem. I would love to see you guys take advantage of this. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you guys. Trying to bring you guys something fresh and exciting. And originally we were going to launch this tomorrow without this whole video, but we decided to let's do it proper, do a video, do a live, do a little interaction with you guys, and give you guys an opportunity before like the family chaos hits starting tomorrow. So be safe, no drinking and driving. I mean, Uber is so damn cheap. Just do that. If you got somebody that you know is going to be alone, invite them over. And on that note, if you have any questions, as always, call my guys. We'd love to have you join the family or add to the collection. So I'm out. We'll see you guys.